The immortal John Hancock here, down to the Retro Gaming Playoff Championship. That's right. This last week, I did the second round of my Retro Gaming Playoffs that I'm doing on my channel. I decided to have some fun in January and take 8 retro gaming items from 2018 and pit them against each other, with you determining who moves on to the next round. That's right. So, here we have it. Down to the final 4. And you voted for the final 2. This is the playoffs. Here we go. I'm going to announce the winners and the results. So, I had the Retron 77 versus the Mega Retron HD. And the winner is... And the Mega Retron HD won. That's right. Pretty shocked. It was closer than I thought. And a lot of people... You know, they commented on the video. Thank you so much. With the hundreds of people that voted, you know, and it won 58% of the votes. And a lot of people had a lot of nice things to say about Hyperkin's Sega Genesis clone. It's far from perfect, but for $50, it's a good product, and people commented so. And so several people, including Jonathan Grency, and what he liked about the Mega Retron HD is that it was hardware emulation versus software. And there's some other items on the market. You know, I think of the Retron 5, for example, which is software emulation. You know, this is more hardware emulation. A lot of people prefer that. Other people commented about the software compatibility. They really liked that the Mega Retron HD played multi-carts, and that it could also play Virtua Racing, which came up frequently. That, and again, this is far from perfect item, but a lot of people liked what it could provide, especially at the price. And so Lance Pelsier said +1, mostly because of games. You know, the Sega Genesis library is pretty robust, and that the Mega Retron HD can play most of them. And so I did not extensively test my entire collection, but I'm sure that the Mega Retron HD can play the majority of the library. And so that's pretty awesome. For other people, it was a very tough choice to make. Benjamin Demi, he commented about that, saying it was a very tough choice for him. But eventually, he chose the Mega Retron HD over the Retron 77. And other people commented it's because of the library choice. You know, other people are like, how dare you pit Atari versus Sega? I'm sorry, I'm just having fun on my channel. Anyways, thank you for everybody that participated. Next up, it was the arcade 1UP Pac-Man versus the new BitBoy. And hundreds of people voted. And the winner is... The arcade 1UP won. Again, with 58% of the entire votes. I was pretty surprised by this. The new BitBoy handheld, just couldn't stand up to the power of Pac-Man. And I think this particular product caught the eye of many collectors and gamers around the world. You know, a lot of people were excited that there was an affordable Pac-Man on the market. And several people commented on that. Far from perfect. And, but this, of all the machines that Arcade 1UP came out with their first wave, this one seemed to really cater to a lot of people. And a lot of people remember playing this particular item back in the day in the arcades. And so Greg's Game Room commented, not perfect, but they gave me the feeling of having an arcade machine in my home. That's exactly why I have it in my house, is that I wanted to have a pick up and play arcade style game, and a lot of people commented on that. They wanted that arcade experience, and Pac-Man's such a classic arcade game. A lot of people were happy to see this on the market. Old Man PJ said, gotta love the cabinet artwork. That's right. Pac-Man is such an iconic arcade game, and arcade games in general, the marquee and the side panel artwork. And it's really cool that they had some of the original artwork from the original arcade machine, reproduced on their little cabs. And so it's pretty sweet to see that. And a lot of people were happy to see that. Lee Fisher said, simply because despite the flaws, Who does not dream about having their own room of cabs? I sure dream about having that. And so I think a lot of people were happy to see this. And I think that's why it got the nod, because it's kind of a unique product and something, even though with its flaws, it came to market. And I think that a lot of people were excited to see it. So we're down to the final two retro gaming products. We have the arcade 1UP Pac-Man versus the Mega Retron HD. And you are going to determine who wins the championship. That's right. I'm going to talk about the rules, talk about the bracket and the timeline of voting and how that works. And here we go. All right, the rules are pretty simple. Users may vote for their favorite device featured in this video. This is done by commenting in the comment section by doing a +1 with the device's name in the comment section. You can either vote +1 for the arcade 1UP Pac-Man or a +1 for the Mega Retron HD. It does help me tally up the votes by doing a +1. That makes it simple and clear and easy to tally up the votes. The reason why I'm doing votes this way, it does help me with engagement. So the comments is a nice way of doing that. YouTube likes that. So that's why I'm doing it versus like a poll or something. All right. Voting will be tallied up after a scheduled and announced time. The time for this video is January 30th. That's right. January 30th, at midnight, I'm going to cut off the voting. And so you have until January 30th to choose between the arcade 1UP Pac-Man or the Mega Retron HD. The device that has the most votes in the comment section will then win. Instead of moving on, it will win. So whoever wins this is the championship. They will be deemed the champion of the retro gaming playoffs on my channel. And you may only vote once per video. So for people curious, I wanted to show the bracket of how the Mega Retron HD and the arcade 1UP Pac-Man have beaten their opponents, and that's because people have chosen them over the retro gaming products that they were pitted against. And so it's pretty interesting to see that journey. And they're in the championships. I do want to mention that there are some other retro gaming products that I wanted to include, but I didn't know how fair it was to include them. For example, the FPGA Super NT by Analog, I think, is one of the best products out on the market for retro gaming products. And I didn't know how to fairly include it. It was hard, do I separate it because it's FPGA versus emulation? I don't know. I made a mistake. I think looking back at it, I made a mistake not including it. Personally, I think it's one of my top picks for 2018. I want to mention that. And there were some other things I could have included, like the PlayStation Classic and the Commodore 64 Mini, and there were some other things as well that I talked about on my channel. I just didn't include, and I just chose 8, and I didn't necessarily choose the best 8. And so, I always got room for improvement next year. So it's nice to see two great retro gaming products in the finals, and both have their strengths and fans. I could see Sega fans rallying behind the Mega Retron HD for being a decent Sega Genesis clone, and with the ability to play, games, carts such as Virtua Racing as well as imports. That's pretty cool to see that in the finals. And then on the other side, you have arcade enthusiasts who are happy to see an affordable Pac-Man arcade machine sold to the masses. And it actually, of all the arcade 1UP machines, the Pac-Man one was well received. And it was pretty neat to see that in stores. So there you go. I'm torn on this one personally, so may the best retro gaming device win, and looking forward to seeing your comments. Thank you so much for people continuing to tune into my humble channel as I march towards 80,000 subs. I'm getting there day by day. I'm getting pretty close, and I appreciate all the support. If you'd like to continue to support me, you can also donate to my Patreon. For as little as $1 a month, I offer an exclusive video every month. You folks are wonderful and beautiful. This is the Immortal John Hancock. Thank you so much, and you take care.